folks, my name is Jeremy Duncan, Platform Architect on the Solution Innovation team. Today I'm here to talk to you about scheduling and on-call rotation. This is an old but fun topic that I love to talk about. This is true to my heart because of my experience in IT and my experience managing an IT help desk. So I would consistently hear, I don't know who to call, or this list hasn't been updated in 3 months, or what if I wake them up in the middle of the night and they're not the right person? So having an on-call rotation is important, but most importantly, having one that's up to date is more important. So what better way to do that than to talk about managing that in the ServiceNow platform? So we're going to jump right into that ROTA conversation. And just as a point of clarification, we are talking about an application that lives within the IT service management portfolio suite. So we're talking about scheduling and on-call rotation today. So this is the application view, and while on-call is dedicated to ITSM, this concept of on-call is really so that any designated triage team can identify who the primary and secondary or backup contact is in the event that there is an issue in their area of expertise. This also manages the escalations so that those contacts, if they do not respond, that there is an escalation path to their leadership. So a couple of the scenarios that we'll talk about are the task assignments and the communications. So as we talk about on-call rotations, there are rotations for task assignments. So if a task comes in, let's say it's a critical incident or a specific task related to maybe a change control that involves maybe the networking team or the infrastructure security team, it's very important to identify who those primary and backups are so that when a change control happens, there's somebody in place to support that team. So task assignment would be a particular scenario or use case. And then communication. So as we focus on major incident management, integration with things like Twilio that can kick off a conference call, that can track when people come and go from the calls to help your tier 0 team or your tier 1 team track the events that are happening during a major incident. Because while the major incident's occurring, the last thing that we want to worry about is do we have the right people? And did they join the call? We want to automate as much of that as possible so that the team can focus on what actually is happening, right? What is the root cause? What are the things that we're working on in problem management? So let's make sure that we squash this who's available conversation by having this on-call rotation tool. So again, we talked about Twilio. There's also the out-of-the-box integration for Notify, which empowers your agents to basically receive a text message to allow them to accept or reject the task that's been assigned to them. And that again is documented so that if you do accept it or if you were to reject it for whatever reason, maybe the schedule wasn't kept up to date and you were actually on vacation, we could note that in that incident, obviously. And then Twilio. So you want to empower your contact center staff, just like I mentioned earlier, without having to think about, hey, who do I dial to get on this bridge? Who do I email? With an integration with Twilio and your on-call rotation scheduler, you can automate those calls and have that bridge spun up so that everybody is in the right place. So within a matter of moments, having all of those phones ringing at the same time and having folks collaborate together on a call. So now let's jump over and take a look at the on-call scheduling application. So a couple of the key elements here is creating and editing the schedule. So what's important here is defining the schedules based on the groups. So if we have a network team that's going to manage certain aspects of your infrastructure, we want to schedule them for their on-call rotation. So we're going to define the schedule, set some key parameters like whether the schedule can overlap, what the escalation rule is on that overlap. And then we have the different shifts. So we've got strategically, if you're in multiple countries, you've got EMEA, Americas, APAC. So you can obviously delete that shift if you need to, but if you happen to be a global company and supporting folks around the globe and around the clock, then you have the ability to do that. What the coverage interval is and how long that coverage lasts. So if you're on a large team, your on-call rotation may only be 1 week or every 1 week out of 12 weeks, right? So that's what that means. Once you define the schedule, you then move on to define the members. So who would be a part of that shift for the networking group, when the start date is, when that interval is, and how often it rotates. So once you've got that defined, you've got the escalation path set up, and you've got all of that published, now you've automated, again, the task assignment or the automated phone calls or SMS notifications that go out in the event that things go bump in the night. There are innovative ways to use this platform capability for many folks. So don't rule it out just because it's only part of the IT service management stack. So thank you for your time today, and I hope you found this informative.